I'm Shyam Sundar, and I'm from Bangalore. So I'm currently a life coach as well as focused on building a niche with mindset, um, focused on soul-based education in the context of the education space that I'm involved in right now.
Great, fantastic. Welcome.
Thanks.
Amit, welcome. And everybody, if you can put your videos on, this can be an interactive session. We'll have more value as well as more fun. Thank you. Yeah, Arindam.
Yeah, maybe I go. My name is
Yeah.
Arindam Ghosh. I am joining from Kolkata, and I work for a company named SchoolNet India Limited, which is into education and skill development. I head strategy in the organization, and as part of my role, organization development is also part of my charter, and therefore I got particularly interested to join this. I have worked earlier with Manoj together, in shaping the organization vision and strategy a couple of years ago. So that's about me.
Great, fantastic, Arindam. Thank you very much. Amit and Sarvani, would you like to introduce yourself? Yes, Amit, go ahead.
Yeah, so basically I'm from the Ahmedabad itself, myself Amit Patel, working with vacancy and helping them to grow and scale the next level. Basically, OD is my interest area, and currently I'm pursuing OD from Zurich University as well. And I'm currently having a lot of research paper to work with my mentor, who is based in UK, and he has around 40 years of experience. And I have attended AMA sessions of yours, so
Okay,
I
great.
know, yeah, so I know you personally as well, and had a connected over LinkedIn as well. Had a lot of time chit chat on AMA. So yes, it's a good part to learn more from you.
Okay, fantastic. Welcome, Amit. Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Sarvani, you want to introduce yourself? Okay, you should do that whenever you are ready. And let's continue. So, so what we're going to do today is we're going to share with you how we look at OD in this 6-month program that we are running for people to become OD professionals, OD experts. And OD is organization development, right? And hey, Santosh Kumar, welcome. Where are you from, Santosh?
I've just relocated to India after 16 years. I'm from Pune right now.
Okay, great. Welcome. And what interested you to be here today?
Yeah, I'm trying to explore the Indian environment at the age of 67 to see how I can rewire and get back into helping people, maybe strategic partnerships, alliances, anything. I'm just open.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Welcome, and thanks for joining.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah, so so this today's masterclass is like an introductory masterclass to the 6-month OD program that we run. We actually are running 2 programs. One is a 6-month OD program for trainers, consultants, coaches, professionals, HR professionals, management professionals who want to master the OD game. And then we're also running a 1-year program, which we're about to launch, which is going to be for entrepreneurs and mid-sized companies. But the basic concepts for both of them are same, which is overall organization development. And we are building on some of the global technologies here. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that today. And also, we want to talk about how for the training, consulting, and the coaching professionals, how it is important to think of themselves as a company instead of thinking of themselves as a freelancer. And not only think of themselves as a company, but also include multiple other dimensional thinking, which is thinking like a platform, thinking like a community, and thinking like an ecosystem. And most professionals are not doing that, unfortunately, and hence they get limited. And we were trying to build this community. We are trying to build this ecosystem of people who are trained in OD so that we all can speak the same language. Right. So let's begin. And Nasir and Uday, welcome. Uday, where are you based? You're on mute, Uday.
In Chandigarh and Delhi.
Chandigarh. Okay, great. And what interested you to join us here today in this OD program?
So I have seen your LinkedIn profile, and I'm really interested towards organization development, and I have a background as a lawyer and also working in different fields, including training, sales, etc. for the last decade. So yeah, this sort of felt like the natural step.
Yes, we definitely agree. We see the future for all serious training professionals, consulting professionals, management professionals who want to make an impact. I think the future game is OD, because that's where you make the complete holistic impact in organizations, right? Everything else is more like bite-sized, and doesn't really lead to reliable impact. Those of you who have worked with organizations long enough, you know a lot of good initiatives look good at that time, but don't have lasting impact. And if you want to have a lasting impact, then OD is the direction to go. Sudarshan and Nasir, welcome. And
thank you, Manoj.
welcome. Nasir, do you want to take a moment to introduce yourself? Where are you from and what interested you to be here?
Yes.
And if you can get your video on, that will be highly appreciated.
I'm trying to do that, but I think
no problem.
there's a network issue.
Perfect. I understand.
I'm from Bangalore, and I'm working as a L&D professional, currently into freelancing. So the idea is that OD is something that people talking these days very frequently, and I'm also keen to learn the process, especially because I am into culture building and a lot of things. So thought this program would help me and give me an overall picture how could I take the learning from OD and apply at work.
Okay,
That's
perfect.
right.
Nasir, thank you very much for joining us here.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody, I am sharing slides, so let me know if you can see them.
Visible, Manoj.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Okay, so we are looking at organization development and business coaching. And I will also say why are we using these two different words? What do we mean by that? And if you look at on the right side bottom, we're talking about transforming organizations through world-class frameworks for leadership development, culture building, strategic thinking, execution, and some more. So when we are looking at organization development, we are looking at mid-sized companies to large companies. Okay, and when we're looking at business coaching, we are looking at small-sized companies and entrepreneurs. Okay, that is a basic difference where we are looking at these two elements. So in a lot of ways, they are similar, but when you're working with entrepreneurs and small companies, you have to take care of certain nuances which are different when you're working with mid-sized and large-sized companies. Okay. This is our purpose. We have three elements here in our purpose. One is creating future-ready organizations. And we have a particular understanding of what we mean here, which is a lot of organizations and people are quite successful. They get successful. They have great run, but they're not able to sustain themselves. And one of the reasons why they don't sustain themselves is because they lose track of the emerging future. And they get seduced by their strategies and their success stories and whatever projects, pet projects they are working on. So when we say future ready organization, we mean a leadership and a culture which is tuned to everybody in the organization sensing the future and co-creating the future. So that's a little bit background of this creating future-ready organization as an element of our purpose. Sunita, welcome. Anand, welcome. Indranil, welcome. Thank you for joining. My name is MANOJ ONKAR, and we just started, and I'm introducing the purpose of our organization. The second part of our purpose is creating organizations where people bring their head, heart, and soul. And we believe that majority of the organizations don't even play the game of people bringing the soul to the workplace. It's almost like that's out of the syllabus. Then comes to people bringing their heart, but very soon people realize that if you bring your heart, you get hurt. So people say, okay, fine, let me play safe, let me just take my head. And our companies also think, oh, if people just bring their head, that's good enough. Unfortunately, you can't even take your full head to the office. You can only be that intelligent that your boss and your system can digest. If you are kind of using too much more intelligence beyond the system, you get into trouble. Okay. So I'm consciously using wrong grammar so that you can understand where the problem lies. Okay. So we want to create organizations where people can bring their full self and actually don't have to have these compartments called, oh, my real self is something else, but what I bring to the office is something else. No, people should be able to bring their full self, and the organization should also have the benefit of having the full power of individuals being available to the growth of the organization. Hey, Anand, welcome. Thanks for joining. And the third part of our purpose is that each organization being a positive impact on the planet. So these are 3 dimensions of our purpose. As we go ahead and as we work together, we'll talk more about it. But right now, just to kind of introduce ourselves, that this is what we are up to. Okay. And what are we doing here? Let's go deeper. So we are looking at this program, the 6-month program, as an opportunity for entrepreneurs, small entrepreneurs, trainers and coaches, HR, L&D professionals, management professionals, and consultants to master OD, organization development. Okay, so in short, that's the whole game here. What is the benefit of being in this program? It's first and foremost is learning leading edge technologies, which are globally established for leadership and change management. And we're going to talk about them very soon. Culture transformation, strategy, and execution. But we're not just learning theory. We are doing hands-on practice in this 6 months. And then you are adding value to your own current offerings. You see the impact in whatever work you're doing currently. That's add new offerings to your portfolio. And you build your practice with velocity. If you're already having a practice, you expand that. If you are starting out, you will build that further. And you become part of a OD community. So this team of people whom we are training, every batch that will come together as a community, and we build this whole conversation together. So in a way, while you're doing the program for 6 months, you have the choice to be part of a community for the rest of your professional life. Okay, so that's the opportunity here. Welcome people who are joining in. Mohammed, thank you for joining in. See, as an OD, you need to develop all these 3 dimensions, which is the visionary approach and strategic thinking, as well as transformational leadership. So what we do here in the course is we actually work with you to develop your own competencies as a transformational leader, as a visionary, and as a strategic thinker. And how do we do that? Is 2 things. One is we make sure that you are building your own company. While you're trying to learn how to coach others, you're also applying it on your own business, own practice. And that's where you demonstrate all of this. What are the main topics that would get covered? So first is leadership and culture transformation. And how do we do that? We work with Theory U from Dr. Otto Scharmer. There are many dimensions of Theory U. we have worked with a company in Thailand, and initially we started with Theory U programs for them. And then they took on to go into strategic consulting, and we'll talk about all of that. And they ended up transforming the organization, a 60-year-old organization. They they actually turned around the organization and became the best managed small and medium enterprise of Thailand and were awarded by their prime minister. And the good thing is, even after the assignment was over and they got this award, every year now they continue to get this award because they have transformed the whole organization. They have transformed the leadership, the culture, and the way they think of strategy. So first focus is leadership, culture transformation using Theory U, then strategic planning using Michael Porter's strategic orientation, execution using Balanced Scorecard by Dr. Robert Kaplan and Dr. David Norton, talent and performance management, wherein we train you to how to create competency frameworks and then how to use the competency framework to upgrade the talent of the current staff as well as to upgrade the whole recruitment process. Hey, Shweta, welcome. Everybody, welcome. Those who are joining in, Himanshi, welcome. And it would be great if you can get your videos on, everybody. I'm going to take a pause after this slide and we'll have an interaction and you will have an opportunity to ask questions. We also work with sales management and consultative selling. So we train people into that. And then we use global methods for service excellence. And we have a collaboration with a company in Japan, Beacon Japan, and we use innovative thinking system to help companies create an innovation culture and bring innovation to every aspect of their business. And as we are doing this complete OD transformation, we are also helping companies to manage their finances in a way that they can be long-term sustainable and successful. Let me pause here before I go ahead and see where you are, what questions you have, what you understand, anything, any comments from anybody or any questions. Let me stop the sharing. Arindam, anything for you?
No, Manoj, nothing for now.
Okay, great. So you have had partial exposure to some of these conversations, right? So you have done the level 1 of Theory U, right? And also you've been exposed to strategic thinking in the work that we did, right? Now here you run how to actually run those initiatives on your own and apply it to your own work and as well as to your clients. So one good thing that can happen for people like you, Arindam, who are in a job right now, is you can actually take on various projects in your company, apply all these technologies there, and create success stories. So that becomes your kind of a starting point for building your career. And then if you're allowed and if you're doing parallel other assignments, then you also get supported to run them. So you get supported to run the assignments internally as well as externally.
Absolutely. Got it, Manoj. Thank you.
Thanks, Arindam. Okay. Sham, any question for you? Anybody else? Anything? And if you can get your video on, Shweta, Sunita, Indranil, Sudarshan, that would be great. Uday, that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, I have a question, Manoj.
Yeah, please.
And I like the first part about, future readiness. In fact, after I came back to India, I've been in multiple countries, diverse verticals and strategy. I have created my own methodology and framework, which I call FIFA. In fact, I've been posting regularly on LinkedIn. FIFA is not to do with the World Cup.
Yeah.
But it is to do with futurism, innovation, foresight, and alignment.
Right.
So that's the framework I have created on my own. I'm a certified futurist. I was looking out for a lot of people who are futurists in India. I couldn't find any names. So I was thinking whether I am the odd, they say joker in a pack of cards, or am I the unique guy? But I find that India really MSME sector, I've been a banker here. I've been, with Tata Motors, and I have an India background too before I went abroad. So there's a huge deficit gap in trying to get India up on the innovation index. That's one. And second is really changing the mindset and of the MSME sector specifically, because there's a lot of destruction of wealth capital happening due to third generation family businesses failing, which I saw during my banking career at a very senior level too. I think that, that's a very big horizon. And I think it's about a mindset change. And, I think culturally, the mindset is what happens to others will happen to me. I've been speaking to a couple of people and they tell me that, we are so bogged down with our login, log out, problem solving, decision making, daily energy loss. I talked to a couple of CEOs, and the pain points are all the same. But they need to take that big leap to understand that if your present has to have the future in you right now in the business model. Otherwise, I think an exit is soon to happen. Looking at the VUCA environment, Bani. I worked in East Africa. I worked in Southwest. Been in Gulf. Been in Germany. So I see this huge chasm of gap, and I think that's what pushed me to becoming a coach. And I said I want to specifically be in that niche rather than. And how can we develop strategic foresight? How do you get foresight into your strategy rather than traditional? People normally I've seen in meetings, people do planning, they don't do strategy. Strategy, I think, is the most abused buzzword in the business. Yeah, you're experienced, you've been in the bandwidth here. So I thought I'll just express a few thoughts, and these are very fresh because I've just come into India in December, did some research. I talked to some people, chambers of commerce, and they said, there is a great potential for this. So your thoughts and other people here.
So definitely the contribution to the economy is going to be huge if we can contribute to the small and medium enterprises. So, and that is what we want to train all the coaches to take care of small and medium enterprises. But no harm if also you transform big companies in the meanwhile, parallelly. That's not a problem at all. Right. So yeah, there's a huge opportunity, and that's why we are training people and creating a whole community of trained OD professionals. Right.
Yeah,
Thanks, Santosh. Yeah. Indranil, anything for you?
Well, I'm a little uninitiated, I believe. I'm just exploring the whole space. What would be interesting for me to understand is, and I missed the initial part, so my apologies for that. Actually, I joined a little later. Is there a network of people already who's in this space and who's probably with your visibility and in some way they are moving into a direction broadly in an Indian context?
I believe that there is a network. I am not in personal touch with them, but I think there will be a OD, because there is a global OD network. And I believe that there will be some Indian chapters also there. But I am not in touch with them. And what we are trying to do is to create a specific niche of OD in which we are using awareness-based leadership methods and strategic thinking to club together to make long-term sustainable organizations. So just strategy and OD from that perspective, I think lots and lots of people are doing that. So what we are doing here is we are clubbing some top leadership and change management methodologies, like I mentioned Theory U by Dr. Otto Scharmer of MIT. And MIT is known for systems thinking, and whatever they design is on the foundation of systems thinking, which we really love, because most of the times leaders, unfortunately, are dealing with symptoms instead of dealing with the source issues, right? And systems thinking helps us to move people away from that symptom approach to actually look at what are the organizational structures which are causing these symptoms. And at least as a first layer, we want people to move away from fixing the symptoms to identifying the organizational source issues, the structures, right? The policies, processes, structure, which are causing the problems that you see. Whether the problems are in the market problems or in the company problems, doesn't matter. There are always some structural issues which are contributing there. So that's the first level of training, to move from symptoms to organizational structures. Then there is second and third level of training where you go deeper, but at least this is where place where we want people to begin. So that's one element of systems thinking. And then leadership and change management through Theory U. Theory U, we'll talk a little bit more, is right now being used by world's top companies, Google, Alibaba, McKinsey, the biggest bank in the world, ICBC, but also being used by social enterprises like Ashoka Foundation, or also government, Scotland government. And right now, as we speak, Dr. Otto Scharmer is training more than 1,000 UN leaders in this leadership and change management conversation. And some of our IAS officers have also either been trained or are still in training in the conversation there. So this is, we believe that this is number one leadership and change management opportunity. And the focus of this is transformation of business, society, and self as an interconnected phenomena instead of doing silo thinking. See, the benefit of Theory U, the benefit of systems thinking is also to break the silo thinking. And in organizations, silo thinking is a big disease. So one of the things we say is, if you're married to your department, you're divorced from your company.
Yes.
And most people get married to their department.
Yeah.
Arindam is remembering this conversation. Right, Arindam?
So if I may clarify,
Yeah.
So from your perspective and from your organization's perspective, the journey is at its beginning, is it, at this moment? And the context is India, or how does that really play out?
So we are working through India, Thailand, Philippines, and UK.
Okay.
Our network is there. We are looking to expand in other countries, but as of now, we are operating from these 4 countries. So, like we have had participants from more than 10 countries coming and participating with us, more than 30 industries. But our base is in these 4 countries. We are looking to enter US, and of course, because that's one big market, and then other places. But as of now, these 4 countries: India, Thailand, Philippines, and UK. So this OD program that we are running is a 6-month program. Parallelly, it is also, so this, we are going to launch our second batch. We're going to start our second batch in September end. Mostly in October, we'll also be launching the batch in Philippines. So that will be an online version, because we're looking to take care of Philippines and Thailand and Singapore and those similar time zone. And we have a partner in Philippines who take care of that, to collaborate with us on that. Okay, so let's continue. So what we are doing here is, as I mentioned to you, that these are the areas where we focus on. Leadership and culture transformation, and strategic planning and execution. So what is the common problem in mid-sized companies is, one is they haven't articulated a strategy. It's somewhere in the head, but not necessarily articulated. If it is articulated, 2 people know it, the remaining people have no idea. But on a bigger level, what is the main challenge that we see? There is a gap between strategy and execution. Then there is a gap between strategy, execution, and talent management. And there's a gap, if you look at, between strategy, execution, talent management, and performance management. So overall, it's almost like the organization is pulled in multiple directions based on the power that each individual leader has. And hence, it gets pulled away from the core. So there is no synergy. So what we do with the help of strategic planning, as well as execution using balanced scorecard methodology is to help organizations streamline all of this, streamline their strategy to their strengths, streamline their execution, streamline the PMS, performance management system, streamline the talent management, and make all of this in sync so that everybody is contributing in the organization going in a particular direction, not pulling in multiple directions. And also there is a visibility of how is each person, each leader, each department contributing to the success of the organization. There's no ambiguity there. So that's the main thing. We also work with companies to help create their own customized competency framework, which then becomes a very powerful foundation for all talent management decisions, including evaluation of the current people, evaluation of the current managers, and upgrading their whole recruitment process, assessment centers and recruitment process. And the best part of what we do in this area is we take talent management away from HR and give it to the whole company, which includes HR. Right? So we get it designed in such a way that the business people find themselves in the conversation. They are part of the creation of the competency framework. They are part of the whole implementation process, and they are not depending on, or they're not turning it to, oh, this is an HR issue. No. So this is a hardcore business issue. From the CEO to everybody is involved in this. And along with that, then the performance management system gets connected with the strategy. So that is where the whole organization gets in sync. So this is what we do with companies, and this is what we train all of you who are going to be part of the program. And how do you actually implement all of this in companies, right? So that's the main element of this 6-month program. And the structure for the 6-month program is we have 1 weekend every month. So that is total of 6 weekends. Out of these 6 weekends, 3 will be in person in Ahmedabad and 3 weekends will be online. Plus there will be 20 group coaching sessions, wherein all the work that has happened in the weekends, you will continue further applications of it and you get supported. So that is 20 coaching sessions, group coaching sessions. And the third is each person will have a buddy coach, somebody whom they are going to coach, as well as somebody who is going to coach them. So what happens is you have a hands-on experience of coaching somebody in transforming their business using the principles that you are learning in the course itself. So that is an hands-on experience. Now, there are multiple hands-on experience opportunities. One is you get to coach somebody. Second is somebody will coach you in building your business. Third is, of course, we as faculty would be doing that. Fourth is if you have any internal or external assignments, or you can take one. We also guide you in implementing all of what you are learning in those assignments, right? So that is how the whole structure works. Okay, Amit Gursale, welcome. Thanks for joining in.
Thank you.
Welcome. So the key elements, as we talked about, is leadership and change management, strategic thinking, strategy planning and execution, supported by other methodologies. And these are some of the companies who have been using Theory U as a part of their leadership culture transformation. These are some of the books in the background if you want to refer, those who like to refer. These are the books that we connect with. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah. So the top 4 books are connected with Theory U. The next 3 books in the line are connected with strategy. And the last one that you see is a new methodology that we have been working with. It's called exponential organization. It is work that is being done by Peter Diamandis and Salim Ismail. The first book was launched in 2014 and the second book was launched in 2023. So this is again a leading edge of futuristic organizations, and that is called exponential organization. How do you build exponential organizations? We know of exponential technologies. right? But how do you actually build exponential organizations? So there is a whole research method happening here, and we are going to also share a little bit about that in the program and also see how we could learn and apply it for our own companies. So each one of us here in the program will be building their own company, building a common community, as well as working with their internal and external clients. Okay, so that is the basic structure. And yeah, this program starts on September 27th. So the first weekend is 3 days, 27, 28, 29. That will be in person in Ahmedabad. The other weekends are, as you can see, alternate weekends are in person and alternate weekends will be on Zoom online. Plus 20 coaching sessions of 2 hours each, again on Zoom. And then, of course, there is no limitation to the personal guidance calls as and when required. We do not believe in restricting the learning process. So as and when any support is required, that is always made available. Okay. Questions before we go ahead? Let me pause here again. Sham, anything for you? This should be a good refresher.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I'm
that we
getting
had.
this information. Yeah, so no questions at this point, but yeah, all the relevant information being made available. Thanks.
Welcome. Vijay, welcome. Okay, so now this course, when we are launching the course for the entrepreneurs, this will be a 1-year program, and which we are going to start in January. So that would be priced at 1 lakh rupees per month, that is 12 lakh rupees per year. And people from the same company, when more people are coming, they would have, like, for example, the first participant would have 12 lakhs, the second to fifth participant would be paying 9 lakh rupees. And like that, there will be a group participation available for organization participation. Now, for the 6-month program, this is going to be designed for more for small entrepreneurs and coaches and consultants and all that. So here our pricing is 3 lakh rupees for the course, but currently as a promotional, we are offering the 6-month program at a 2 lakh rupees pricing. So that is the financial investment connected with this course. If people are committing today, like if you are part of this session today and you're committing today, then we are offering you the residential facility for the 3 in-person weekends on a complimentary basis. That is only for people who register today. Okay. And we are going to invite people to register today. And the way you could do it by paying 25,000 plus tax as a registration fee, which will be adjusted in the total fees that you pay. So plus tax means total is 29,500. Okay. So that's the financial side of the investment for the program. Okay. Now, if you ask more questions, the conversation becomes interesting.
Can you provide like as you told, there will be in-person and online sessions and then group discussion, group sessions and all.
Yeah.
So can you provide a written detail of what all we are going to cover in those sessions and like how we are going to get benefited?
Yes. So, wait a minute. Let me take you through. I'm going to take you through some of the slides that we talked about here. So the main things that will happen are these 3 things. So firstly, parallel throughout all the 6 weekends, that in 6 months, we'll be working on leadership and change management through Theory U. So in the first weekend, you will learn the level 1, which is called the transforming perception. And therein you learn certain exercises which train you to listen to the world outside of your head and to see the world from the eyes of the stakeholders. This is something that, of course, is going to be extraordinary for you, but also something that you can immediately start training others in, including your clients or any other team members. So that is something that you will immediately start implementing. Along with that, in the first weekend, you will have an introduction to strategic thinking and competitive strategy, and an introduction to strategy maps, how strategy maps are created and the whole benefit of strategy maps. Then between the first weekend and the second weekend, you start working on creating strategy maps for yourself. In the second weekend, you actually master creating the strategy map for your own company. And that also helps you to see any organization from the perspective of those 4 parameters: that's the financial perspective, the customer perspective, the process perspective, and the capability perspective. How all these 4 perspectives run together and how they are critical in building the whole organization. So you have a first-hand experience of that. In the third weekend, we work on the level 2 of Theory U, where you connect with your higher self, purpose, vision of for your organization. Again, all of this, whatever you are learning at a level where you apply it for your own company, and immediately you can also start training and supporting other people. Okay, so that is the whole design. And then you, as the 4th weekend, you go ahead and you are looking at actually creating execution plans for your organization, as well as you can start looking at how execution plans are to be created for your clients. So that is the basic direction of the work that we are doing. I hope this answers your question, Dr. Zubair.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
Great. Thanks for asking. Okay, somebody else?
Manoj, can you share some insight on the business coaching side, please?
So business coaching side, as I mentioned earlier, is what we look at. See, organization development is holistic in nature, which will include all these elements. Plus, it includes executive coaching for the CEOs as well as the core team. Right now, the way we are looking at business coaching is for the small entrepreneurs, right, and small companies, is where we focus on what we call as business coaching. So in a way, you can say it's a modified version of OD, because you cannot expect small businesses to implement the full OD thing at the scale that is required. Okay. Secondly, now when you look at business coaching, again, you have to divide the whole game into 2 or 3 parts. One part being the startups. So startups have a very different challenge, and you have to work with them differently. And then in the other part would be the companies who are in less than 3 years period, 4-year period. And then, of course, the established companies who want to scale up, right? So basically, business coaching is modified OD consulting with a lot of personal touch to take care of the spaces of the entrepreneur and the challenges that the entrepreneurs are going through. Okay, now again, so there will be basic frameworks that you will use, but then also it's customized to each company, and you learn how to customize them. And the best way you learn is because when you take on assignments, we support you and work with you in the shadows, so that you can actually implement whatever you need to implement with the clients. Right, so you get a lot of backend support for every assignment that you take on.
Okay.
And as you know, in the startups, many a times you have to help them pivot, move, because their original business plan may not be the best option, right? So and then there are other challenges that the startup face. All of us also are in a way startups or small companies, so we know the challenges that individuals face, entrepreneurs face, right? And how do you actually help them survive those first phases and get traction? So and then you take care of certain key elements, especially the get traction in the sales, get reliability in the production, get reliability in the delivery. So you are using, as I said, modified OD to focus on a couple of key areas, and those would be the areas of sales, production, delivery, and finance management. You don't look at building a lot of scale. So it's kind of a modified, customized version of OD that you apply to the small businesses. Does that
Right.
respond to your question, Shyam?
Yes, it does. Thanks.
With a healthy dose of taking care of the person.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you have worked with startup entrepreneurs, you know that it takes a certain amount of personal care.
Touch. Yeah. Yeah.
Because they need a partner of a different kind. Well, as an OD consultant, you are a partner. You are a thinking partner for the clients. But here you have to have a little bit additional personal touch. And
Sure.
in a way, different shade of it is also required, even in big companies when you're doing executive coaching, because again, at the top, they are lonely and they need people who can really be their thinking partner. And they can say things and address issues which they cannot address in front of their team members or colleagues or their employees, right? So more of executive coaching component plays a bigger role in the business coaching.
Got it.
Thanks, Shyam.
Thanks.
Great. Anybody else? It would be great if we can have some more questions or anything you would like to know about the course.
So just to again clarify, so
Yes,
am I
please.
right in understanding that this would be most suited for either self-employed professionals who are already in the field of OD, or they would like to, go further in the journey, and small and medium enterprises?
The 6-month course, yes.
Right.
And the 1-year course is more designed for mid-sized companies.
Mid-size company, okay, right.
Yeah. Like right now in our current batch, we have people who are from training background, coaching background, who are already doing some coaching. Plus, we also have 2 people who are part of national level and international level organizations. They are employees there. So they are L&D, senior people in L&D, senior people in HR. And they are not looking to immediately start their own practice, but they want to learn all this, apply it in their own company right now, create a certain kind of experience back for themselves, and then parallelly start taking assignments. So they have already started taking side assignments also. And so they build their own practice over a period of time. What's your background, Indranil?
Yeah, so I have represented basically sales, marketing, strategy, these kind of roles, business development, and a fair bit of what we understand as consumer sciences and consumer insights as well, So I do lead these kind of functions for the last 2 decades. I have been working in a vertical called fragrance and flavors. And both in India and out of Southeast Asia as well, in Singapore. So these are fairly large organizations. And if you have to bring in some change, you need to obviously have sponsorship at the highest level. And also, partnership from the HR function.
Or you do experiments at the teams that you have access to.
Right. Like my own function or my own department.
Yeah, like we have somebody who is from the BFSI industry, and they are going to experiment at their state level, because that's where they want to create success story, and then they can kind of be more visible at a national level and all that. And the other one person is in an international company, but again, he has access to his own team of around 20-25 people, plus some of the internal client teams that he has. So he's applying all of this with his internal clients.
Even then, you need some kind of an alignment with the other, adjacencies, the other functions, because they'll be impacted in some way.
Yeah.
The internal communication and the interdependencies will be also kind of coming.
Yeah, you have to also phase out the way you intervene. You cannot go out and start a big venture.
Right.
But you can, like recently, this participant, he did a 10-session small series on deep listening as a way to enter the whole conversation and get people to start thinking beyond what they are already kind of default thinking. And so that's an entry, like you have to create small entries into the whole conversation, and then get people on board. That is true. Thanks, Indranil. Anything else for you?
No, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay, so okay, the other thing that we discussed in the starting, and I'm going to repeat for everybody's benefit, is there's a need for most of us in this field to move from working as individuals and working as freelancers to actually start to develop themselves, their own thinking as a company. And one of the things that we are training the trainers and consultants to start looking at, how would your company look like if you were not doing the assignments? And that is like a game changer for many people, because if you're thinking as freelancers, you're actually limiting the size of what you can build and what contribution you can do. So the training is to move from thinking as freelancer to actually building company and building a community, building a platform, building an ecosystem. And that's what we are trying to do, and that's what we are helping people to start thinking and developing. And how do you actually build community? By the way, the exponential organization conversation is, if you study that by Salim Ismail and Peter Diamandis, you will find that community tapping is one of the critical aspects of creating an exponential organization. You can't create exponential organizations running everything through yourself or through your employees. So there is a way how you tap community, how you tap the crowd, and how you tap the ecosystem. So that's another dimension to work on. Right? Thank you very much for that conversation here. Santosh, thanks. So what we are going to do now is we kind of just going to take some questions, and we can go in depth in whatever is required. Otherwise, we are going to give you an opportunity to also register yourself if you want. As I said, this is a 6-month program starting on 27th of September. The registration is open. You can register by paying 25,000 plus tax, that is 29,500. You can do a GPay and you can register on that. And the balance payments you have to pay before the course. If you need any other facility, you can be in conversation with us. All right. So Arindam, before you log off, anything for you? Okay. So that's why I said you have to log off at 8. So
Yeah, I
anything?
have to log off. So Manoj, no, I think it was a good refresher for me since we had partial exposure and we experimented
Yes.
some of these things within our organization.
Yeah.
Both the balance scorecard as well as theory U, many of us did.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
good refresher, and of course, as you rightly said, that it helps in breaking the silo thinking and take the entire organization. Strategy is not for an individual.
Yes.
It is in partnership with the entire organization, and that way these tools are very helpful. I am
Yes.
not exposed to the exponential thinking bit that you mentioned.
Yeah.
The exponential organization, that tool I am not exposed to.
Yeah,
But
that
yes,
is something
balance
that we
scorecard.
started working with last 2 years.
Okay, but balance scorecard and theory U we have done.
Yeah.
Partially we have been, and as you know, as somebody mentioned, I think Indranil mentioned that it's important that for the success of such initiatives in an organization, ours was a mid-sized organization, so to say. The success depends on full involvement and sponsorship at the highest level. Without that, these things fall through. So it's important that the sponsorship is at the highest level. People see through and then use these tools to build the organization.
Yeah.
Somebody also mentioned here that, most of the organizations, particularly the small and medium enterprises, they are so bogged down with their here and now problems, right?
Yeah.
It sometimes becomes difficult to take a helicopter view as to
Yes.
where you would like to see the organization. And then you're constantly in the transactional mode. How do I save the day? How do I save the month and all of that stuff? So this particularly theory U and and the crux of it is written in your background: deep listening and observation, deep listening, empathy, and then prototyping and creating this vision. This really helps, in starting small, but again, prototyping it and taking it forward. I think this is a good session, Manoj. Good refresher. I'll connect with you offline, but unfortunately,
Sure.
I'll have to log off now.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you so
understand.
much.
Thank you very much. Great. Cool. Sham, anything else for you?
No, Manoj, I've got whatever information I wanted, and like I've interacted with you this afternoon, I'll connect with you
Great.
offline.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Indranil,
I'll
Anand,
drop off
anything
now.
for you?
No, nothing right at the moment, but I like Arindam also said that I think I need to connect with you offline, because there are certain directions that I'm also kind of contemplating for my own career.
Right.
And so I'm in conversation with 2 startups in India, and maybe, so it has to emerge a little bit. And like he also mentioned that most of these startups are actually, they're figuring out with their daily cash flows, and they're in a survival mode,
Yes.
And some of them could be very small also in stature. So,
Yeah. 3 of the clients we worked with, they were in the incubator with IIM Bangalore. And
correct.
while they were getting supported there, we also started working with them and then hand-holding them even beyond the incubator phase. And
Correct.
now we continue to work with them. Of course, so now one of them is actually started scaling up, and second one is beginning to scale up. Third one is still trying to sort out the business model, because the original business model is not viable. So these are the challenges of startups.
Yeah, sure. So I
Great.
think,
So be in touch, and we're going to share our contact details here. And you also must have received in the invite, but let me just share here. And Hiren, you want to share your contact details also? Please do that. And 1 second. Yeah.
I'll take leave now with your permission.
Great. Thank you very much.
I'll connect with
Yeah.
you. Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Anand. Be in touch.